Hello guys, I am Pixel and today I wanted to give you guys my perspective on the first phase of the Steam closed beta for Dirty Bomb, and that is a little bit of a tongue twister. Anyway, I am literally starting to record this just after Splash Damage and the Dirty Bomb social media places have retweeted and shared my last video. So this is going to be a little bit awkward because I'm kind of, well, I am under NDA to not talk about stuff which happened before the NDA. And I'm going to try my best not to give too many details, but I am going to be maybe breaking that rule a little bit. I'm not certain that I'm breaking the rule, so it's one of those awkward ones. But the reason why I want to do this is I've been watching a lot of other people's videos and listening to their comments, reading their forum posts and all that kind of jazz. And there's been mostly positive opinion on the closed beta, but there's also been some people which are getting really frustrated with the balance issues, and also when it comes down to some of the bugs that we have been encountering during that first phase of the Steam closed beta. And I just wanted to kind of touch on this a little bit because right now the game that we are playing we was playing before it got taken down in the previous patch was not really all that representative of what I've been playing for the last 6 months. And the reason why I say this is the balance issues really only came about a couple of patches ago. This is before the NDA was lifted and before it went onto Steam. There was basically a patch, it was called the Darwinian patch, and all the abilities and everything was buffed dramatically. And then before, the patch which was the Steam patch, started nerfing these back down again. The idea basically in development is it's easier to go too far than pull back than it is to creep forward, because if you creep forward you never really know when you've hit that sweet spot, where if you go far too forward or like just buff everything massively, you kind of know that, wow, that's far too strong, we need to like half the damage. And basically due to that big push forward patch, the abilities are a little bit out of whack, and I think Fragger's grenades and the explosive damage in general really kind of demonstrates that. And even Aura's healing station, which was 6-7 weeks ago, nowhere near that powerful. It was kind of weak, and then it went too far, and they pulled it back for the Steam patch, and it's closer to perfect. It's not there, but it's definitely closer. So I just want to basically tell you guys, the balance isn't perfect right now, no one will deny that, but this is definitely not the best balanced patch that we've been playing since the alpha started 2 years ago. So just bear that in mind. Hopefully Splash Damage will be able to improve this dramatically for the next phase of the Steam closed beta, which will be phase 2 obviously. I'm hoping that we're going to get that in a few weeks, but when we do get that, I'm kind of expecting the balance to be a little bit closer to what a lot of people expected. And because it's a beta, guys, don't be surprised if we find out that someone's ability, which was kind of weak in this time and some people thought was okay, is crazily overpowered. This is going to happen again and again and again, and it is a very important part of the development so we can actually see what makes something overpowered. Because something being overpowered, it's easy to say that, like this weapon's overpowered because it does more damage, right? But not necessarily. Something could do a shed ton of damage but have really bad accuracy, and the reason why it's actually overpowered is because it's a little bit too accurate for the damage that it's doing, not necessarily the damage. It's crazy like that, guys. And the other big issue was the bugs. Now, I just want to throw it out here. Beta, there's going to be bugs. But let's be honest, the Steam beta was packed full of so many crazy, frustrating bugs that a lot of people was really getting angry and wound up, especially towards the end, which personally is a reason why I think Splash Damage thought it's best to take it offline before the next patch, because the bugs were still quite frequent, and there was kind of game-breaking bugs, let's be honest. When you spawn without a weapon, or you spawn as a ghost, or you spawn drunk, so when you press forward, you move backwards. That's pretty serious, right? And again, I'm going to go back to before this phase of the beta. These were not really issues. A long time ago, we had similar issues when we did load testing, and then the next patch came out and they wasn't there. And the reason they wasn't there is because we wasn't load testing, but we didn't realize that at the time. And I think Splash Damage are in the same boat. I think they realised that because these bugs resurfaced when a lot more people installed the game, because let's be honest, an awful lot of people got an email saying install Dirty Bomb, it's on Steam now, the NDA has been lifted, so the player numbers were pretty high compared to what we are used to. And I don't know what splash damage I've found, but I'm assuming it's going to be related to player numbers, and I am assuming that they've probably taken the game offline so they could fix the servers effectively, because I'm assuming, because most of it was loadout based, that it would have been a server-side issue of some sort. So, yeah, what I'm basically saying is in the past 6 months, we've not been having them bugs either, and I'm expecting them to hopefully be cleaned up going forward. So that's some of the issues that other people have been talking about. Now, what I want to talk about is how pleased I am to see a mostly positive response when it comes to Steam reviews and video content from many YouTubers and even just people that upload videos casually. The overall response seems to be really positive, and that makes me very happy. I want to encourage everybody to go on the forums and give their opinion, but please, like, understand that this game is really kind of complex when you compare it to other first-person shooters. So if you jumped in on the Steam patch, you really haven't got the full broad vision of what this game is actually trying to be in some respects. So while we understand that you're frustrated about, well, I understand that you're frustrated about a certain mechanic or something like that, I just want to ask you guys to give it a little bit of time. Just give it a chance to kind of warm your heart and knock your socks off kind of thing. Because, while not perfect, we are definitely getting a game here which I am really happy to be able to play. And I am really excited for the next wave of the closed beta. I am certainly waiting with mass anticipation to actually be able to play this game once again, and hopefully very soon. Now, if it was up to me to make a couple of changes, this is what I wanted to really talk about. I've got a few, and this is where it gets a little bit awkward, not because of NDA breakage or anything like that. When it just gets a little bit awkward when you think about it from the standpoint of, is this really the direction that the game's going? But right now I've got a little bit of an issue with the abilities overall, and I'm not just talking about an overpowered ability in the current set, I'm talking about the direction in which the abilities seem to be headed. Like, right now, let's be honest, it's almost a press Q to kill if your ability is a killing ability, such as a Molotov cocktail, mines, grenades, airstrikes, and artillery strikes, and all that kind of stuff. But what I would really like to see, and I'd like you guys to let me know in the comment section below if this is the kind of thing that you're after, is I'd like to see the abilities not be out-and-out killing tools, but more like utility tools and situation changes, not outcome changes. So, for instance, Fragger's Nade, I would love that to be just as big in radius, right? Just as big in radius. Be able to cook it just like you can do now, and throw it at the same speed as you can do now, but I would like the damage itself to be dramatically reduced till it's at the point where it's almost like a Counter-Strike Go grenade, where if you're in the close proximity, you're going to take like 40 damage. I mean, 80 damage. And if you're on the outside, you're going to take like 40 damage. And then I'd like it to be used almost like, if you get into a fight and people run away, you can throw it after them after cooking it, because you got that really strong arm throw, which will actually pelt the grenade forward massively, and it'll explode and kill them. So there you go, you've cleaned up using a grenade. And the opposite of that is, you know, there's people in a room camping it out, throw a grenade and maybe throw in two, knowing that you're not going to kill anybody, but it's giving you an opening where they've got to either decide to hold position and fight you as you walk through the door, or get some med down, get some healing down. I'd like to see the grenades buffed against all deployables, like the healing station. Like, that's the way that I see the game in my head. When I actually imagine what I would like to be playing at the end of all this, it's basically that. One thing that I'd also like to point out is, well, I say point out, I suppose it's more touch on, and that is team composition in public play, because during this last phase of the beta, there was a very, very big lack of medics and basically objective play, to be honest. And this is an issue that is not really with a player base. I want to blame the player base because that makes it easy, right? The players are just bad and blah blah blah. Matchmaking will fix it all, yay. But I don't believe that's the case. What I honestly believe is the problem here is the lack of game modes. And the reason why I say this is sometimes, even myself, I cannot be bothered jumping on a game, being really intense and having to play an objective or lose, right? Sometimes I like to play Underground, the map that the video was just on, because it's basically a kill map. It's linear, you go forward, you shoot things, they die, and you feel good about yourself. You get the objective done eventually if you kill a lot on that map, so it kind of works out. But you're not really penalised if half your team decide that they want to play team deathmatch and just run around going for frags. And I think that's what's been happening in the beta up until now. Well, in the last phase of the beta up until now. And parts, like I was saying, you kind of always just want to say, well, the players are just bad, the players are just being selfish, the players are doing this, the players are doing that. But because myself, sometimes I feel the same way, I honestly think it's because this game doesn't have that chill out kill mode. And that chill out kill mode just feels so important. I'm not saying that it needs to be literally a team deathmatch, because a team deathmatch honestly won't work. Everyone will just pick either a fragger or a sawbones and either heal themselves or throw grenades everywhere and just watch explosions rack up the kills. And then the engineers in that case are almost redundant because you've got no objective to clear, and same with the field ops, and saying that ammo could be quite valuable. But I would kind of like to see something like Team Fortress's capture points. So you both spawn at one side of the map and you've got capture points going along. You could actually use Whitechapel, Bridge, but basically most of the maps would work when it comes to this kind of gameplay, especially if you flip the side so it's actually fully first, so it's like a 2-round thing, then overtime or sudden death or something like that. Maybe you have to go for the middle point, which is quite balanced. But I think this gives people the ability to play team deathmatch, and it only requires one person to go and stand on a point kind of thing. The rest of the time, the fight is always on the front line of the objective, so it kind of makes sense. I'm not saying it's a great game mode, I'm not saying that it should be a competitive game mode or anything like that. I'm basically saying I think that game mode will help separate objective team play from people that just want to go and kill, and it could be fun for everybody. And you can lower the respawn times. It can literally just be some fun, and that is really what I think is lacking when it comes to public play in Dirty Bomb at the moment. But anyway, yeah, so I'm excited about the second phase of the beta. I've kind of maybe broke the NDA, which I'm very sad about. I didn't want to do that. I just want to make sure that everybody understands exactly where I'm coming from when I don't really complain about the balance too much, because, well, personally, I've seen it much better in the past, and I've seen it much worse in the past, and I've seen it getting better now, so hopefully we'll get there again soon. And with the map design, that's something which I want to leave till later, until the movement system's really locked down. The objectives aren't great right now, we all know that. So yeah, there's no point in flogging a dead horse about that one. But when it comes to the current direction of the abilities, I think we could really do with kind of like trying to force splash damage's hand to actually at least give what we're trying to say a try. And a second mode, even if it's just on a single map for the next phase of the beta, I really do believe it could help the game out immensely when it comes to team play and public play. The ranked servers hopefully will be coming in the next patch as well, so I'm very excited for that. And yeah, well, that's my rant, I suppose, about the first phase of the Steam closed beta for Dirty Bomb. Tongue twister again. If you're new to the channel, don't forget to slap that subscribe button for some more PC gaming goodness. And as always, like this video if you like this video. I am Pixel. Thanks for watching. I'll catch you next time. Bye bye.